Hello and welcome to Gnan Manjri online classes. How are you all? I hope you are all well and fine at your home. Basically, today we are going to start our new chapter on metals and non-metals. So, I think you have studied elements in class 7th. So, what are elements? A substance that is made up of single type of atom is called element, and in this chapter we will be learning two types of element, which is metal and non-metal. Before going into the chapter, if we take a coin and a sulfur. Now if I describe the sulfur is like something which is in a solid form. It can be converted into powder with just pressing. uh, for an example, if there is an washing powder which is wet and you have made a ball of it, or if you take an snow, right, it is like an snow is if we make a ball of an snow, then we crush it with the hands, it will become an powder. Yes, so that is the basic description for sulfur. So if we take sulfur and if we take a coin, so what is the main physical properties or difference you will see in this coin and sulfur? If we take the luster, if we talk about the luster, does it shine? If we talk about the coin, yes, it will be shining, but sulfur, it will not be shining. Now if we talk about hardness, how do you feel? For the coin it is hard, but with the sulfur it is soft, because as we described that snow, we feel it very soft, right? Now C is malleability. Can it be beaten into sheets? अगर उसको मारो with an hammer, then it can be become thin sheet, right? So coin metal is converted into sheet by beating with the hammer, right? So if we talk about sulfur, we can easily be crushed by the hand, it cannot be turned into sheets, right? So from this activity we learned the luster, hardness and malleability of a coin or a sulfur, which is coin is a metal and sulfur is a non-metal, right? So based on this, now let's summarize the properties of metal and non-metal.
Physical properties of metals and non-metals. All the objects that you see around you are either made of metals or non-metals. Jewelry, cooking vessel and coins are made of metals. Your books, pencils and bags are made of non-metals. But how do we differentiate between them? We can differentiate between metal and non-metal on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. In this video, we will learn how to differentiate between metals and non-metals on the basis of their physical properties in detail. When you look closely at a metal object, like a piece of jewelry or a cooking vessel, you may notice that it shines. Metals have a shiny appearance. This quality is called luster.
So first property, for describing the metal and non-metal, we classify them on the basis of physical properties and chemical properties. So first we are talking about physical properties, and in that first property is lustrous, which is possessed by metal because they are shining in nature. Every metals that are having some shining quality in them, which is known as lustrous quality.
Now, do you find the same shine on a piece of charcoal? No, this is because charcoal is a non-metal. Non-metals are not lustrous. So,
So here you can compare the metal and non-metal, which is lustrous and non-lustrous. So non-lustrous metal will be non-metal, non-lustrous object will be non-metal, and lustrous, which is shining, will be metal.
we can say that metals are lustrous and non-metals are not. Now, is it possible to break a steel or aluminium utensil with your hands? No. But if If you try breaking a pencil or an eraser, it breaks easily.
Now, first one was lustrous, second is hardness. If we talk about the hardness of a metal, it is very hard. It cannot be broken by the hands. But if we talk about non-metal, it can be easily broken by the hands. So here are the examples. First one is steel utensil in metal and second is pencil in non-metals.
This is because metals are mostly hard, non-metals are brittle, with the exception of sodium and potassium, which are soft enough to be cut with a knife.
So basically metals are hard and non-metals are soft, but these two metals, sodium and potassium, these two are the exceptional case. एक अलग ज केस है मेटल अच्छा पण it will behave differently, which is sodium and potassium. It can be cut with a knife.
Soft enough to be cut with a knife. If you take a piece of iron and strike it hard with a hammer several times, you will notice that it starts to take the shape of a sheet. This property of metals to be beaten into thin sheets is called malleability. Now, if you try beating a charcoal with a hammer, it turns into a powder, right? This shows non-metals are not malleable. Another interesting property of metals is that they
We saw about malleability. Malleability is basically अगर metals को if we beat up with an hammer, it will form into thin sheet, but non-metals will become an powder. So that is non-malleable. So this property is called malleability. First one was luster, second one was hardness, third is malleability. Now let's see the next one.
non-metals are not malleable. Another interesting property of metals is that they can be drawn into thin wires. This is called ductility. Because of this property, we can make copper wires that are used in electrical appliances. Since non-metals are brittle in nature, they can't be ductile. This is a school.
So ductility is basically कि metal can change them shape into small thin wires. So here in the figure you have seen that copper is converted into small thin wire, and basically this copper wires are used in the electrical wires in our home, right? But non-metals are non-ductile because they cannot be converted into thin wires. They will just become into powder form. So next topic is sonority.
Listen to the sound it makes when it rings. Do you think it is made of metals? Yes. This property of metals of making a ringing sound is called sonority. Now, here is a wooden spoon. Listen to the sound it makes when it falls on the floor. Yes, it doesn't make any ringing sound.
So the ringing sound in is produced uh, when metal is ringed, right? So school bell, yes, steel spoon, it also causes sonority, which will make a ringing sound. But when we talk about wooden spoon, yeah, plastic metal or something plastic made up of plastic object, so that will not make any sound.
Since non-metals do not make this sound, they are not sonorous. What will happen if you touch a heated aluminium vessel? You may burn your fingers. But if the vessel has a plastic handle, you can easily hold it. This is because aluminium, which is a metal, is a good conductor of heat. But the handle, which is a non-metal, is a bad conductor of heat. Or
So basically, conduction of heat is when you touch a metal, you feel hot, right? Because they are the good conductor. Good conductor means they are supportive to heat. If we heat that vessel, they will accept that heat. But non-metals are the bad conductor of heat. Bad conductor means if you heat them, they will not accept the heat and it will remain cool. So plastic handle of an vessel, we can hold it easily after putting on fire, but aluminum vessel we cannot touch because otherwise we will burn our hands.
All metals are good conductors of heat and non-metals are bad conductors of heat. Do you know electric wires are also made of metals like copper and aluminium? Why is it so? This is because they are good conductors of electricity. These wires are always coated with a non-metal, as non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Hence, they can save us from electric shocks. So today we learned the physical properties that help us differentiate between metals and non-metals. Metals are lustrous while non-metals are dull. Most metals are hard while most non-metals are brittle. Metals are ductile while non-metals are not. Metals are sonorous while non-metals are not. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity while non-metals are not.
So basically we have seen the five differences, five physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now let's see practice question number 6.2. We already have seen the 6.1 practice question. Now filling the blanks. Most metals are hard but solid, but sodium, lithium and dash are soft and can be cut with the knife. So when we were seeing that video, I already told sodium, lithium and potassium, these are the soft metals which can be cut with a knife. And mercury is a metal which exists in liquid state at the room temperature. You have seen, I guess, mercury, the temperature thermometer, the basic old thermometer in which there is a silver lining, right, which will move up when we put in our body, and it will catch the heat and we can measure how much fear we have. So that is done by the mercury. If you haven't seen, go try take a thermometer and see inside the silver lining, that is mercury. Mercury is a metal which, that is the only metal that is existed in liquid state at room temperature. वो अगर room temperature पे रखे then it will be existed in liquid state. वो liquid होगा, metal है फिर भी liquid है. So basically we will keep this lecture till now. So we studied about the properties of metal and non-metal today, and in that lecture, that means the ability of shine. Hardness, that means it has the ability to does not get bent or stretched easily. Malleability, that is ability to be beaten into thin sheets. Ductility and sonority of sound, right? So we have seen this all five properties of metal and non-metal, physical properties, and based on that today's your homework is practice question 6.1 and 6.2 A and B, and then you have to write the make a table for properties of metal and non-metal, which we have seen in the last part of the video. Write that table 3 times and see your concept time based on this. Thank you all, and then send it to me, your homework. 3 times the table for physical properties of metal and non-metal and this practice question. That's it for today's lecture. Thank you all and have a nice day.